Hi everyone, I'm Sam from Bio Cosplay. Today we're taking a look at the Amazing Yamaguchi Tomura Shigaraki. I generally enjoy Amazing Yamaguchi figures, and I've been enjoying most of my hero figures, so I'm excited for this one. Here's a look at the packaging. I don't love the Amazing Yamaguchi packaging, but I also don't keep the packaging anyway, so I guess it's fine. It's just kind of the new gray box with the photo on the side. It says Shigaraki Tomura on the bottom there, as well as the top. Some more shots of the figure on the side here, a little picture here, and then a bunch of pictures on the back, and there it shows all the accessories. Here he is out of the package. My immediate thoughts are that the Revoltech shoulder situation is a bit worse on this one than other figures. This one looks a bit more disjointed here, and if you try to push the shoulders in, then it bows the arms out, so it's not gonna be the best looking figure in a neutral pose, but these figures are meant to be posed and are hyper articulated, so we'll see how he looks once he gets posing. Otherwise, I like the hair. I think that looks nice. I think there's a little bit of shading there and a bit of blueness to it, and that looks good. The printing on the face is really nice. He has this cape on the back. There's a lot of shading on it. It could be something that some people don't like since it's kind of the Revoltech-y, disjointed cape. It could look a little ugly in some poses. I think it has a cool sculpt though, so I'm not too bothered by that. We'll get a bit of a closer look here. I do like the design he has on the arm. That helps give him a bit of asymmetry and looks nice. Unfortunately, it is a little bit fuzzy on the edges of this. Pretty much all the way around, it's kind of spilling out of the lines a bit. So that could have been a bit better. And then for the torso in general, I think this is an area where it could have looked a little bit better with some shading or paint. I think a good example of this is Toto from the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen line. There's a lot of shading all over the torso of this figure, and I really enjoy this. I think it looks really nice, and just brings it to life a little bit more than the plain plastic over here. Otherwise, he does have some gold paint here on the front of the cape chain situation. He has the hand with just the two fingers and this little yellow bit. I don't remember exactly if there was a name for what was going on here. Then down at the pants, I like the design for the pants and the way they're armored. I do think they could have moved where the articulation is cut to have the cut be here and have this whole situation swivel around. Because right now it's just like cutting straight through the armor. And that doesn't look super great. Generally, they tend to have the cut at the thigh be situated kind of angular this way. For this one, they did try to flatten it out a bit, but I think if they could have gone this way and just followed the line that's already here, that would have looked a lot better. Down at the knees, he does have knee pads. Those will stick out a bit for articulation, but I think at least it makes sense here a little bit. And then down at the feet, these are just black plastic. Those do provide a little bit of color variation against this like navy blue on the pants, and then the glossy black belt. So aesthetically, I don't think it's their best showing. For me personally, once I get it posed, it's not gonna bother me that much, but I think for anyone who likes to keep their figures in a neutral pose, this one might not look the best, especially with those shoulders. Otherwise, he does look like Shigaraki. The face looks nice, the cape has a nice silhouette. I feel like maybe the version of Shigaraki with the hands all over him could have been a little bit more popular. I'm not certain, but that's the one I see people talking about a lot. I think when this one went into production, this was the arc that they were on though. On to articulation. This is usually the best part of these figures, and certainly why I enjoy them. So hopefully that'll save it from some of the aesthetic problems. Looking up, with all this hair and the cape on the back, he can look up about this much, and then just on the neck joint down this much. And then on the lower neck joint, you can look down very well. I believe this is a double ball peg going into the head, and then one ball peg down at the neck. Yep. And then can lean to the side a little bit. The hair gets in the way, and this way, not a ton. Again, the hair is getting in the way. Can shift it around though, and rotate it. This upper cape collar piece is attached to the neck, and then the back is glued down to the back here. So this will swivel independently from the rest of the cape. At the shoulders, these should go up all the way. Yep, no problems there, despite them being a little bit ugly. There's a ball hinge coming out to a ball peg here, so you can get the arm looking very disjointed if you would like. But with that, he can reach across the chest very well and bring the arm back very well. There's swivel on that ball, and a single ball hinge at the elbow. It gets very good range, and then a ball hinge at the wrist, so shouldn't have any issues with the wrist either. For the cape, there are ball hinges going into the back here, one on each side here, and then another one on each side here, so you can rotate these a bit and hinge them out, and rotate them at these joints and hinge them out. You kind of get stuck on each other a little bit. Oop. Might have to finagle them to get them not clashing together as much, but I think they'll be able to get into some decent poses. And since the cape is pretty tattered, I don't mind that it looks a little disconnected. I think it'll still work with the design. I forgot to mention on this side, the ball hinge is this kind of reddish color at both the elbow and the hand. I like that since it goes with the design. At the torso, there's a ball peg at the diaphragm here, so he will lean back this much and forward this much. Then with the ball peg at the waist, all together he can lean back this much and forward this much. So pretty good range at the torso. There's also side to side lean and swivel at both those joints, but since they're a bit oblong, you don't get a ton of swivel at the diaphragm. There is more at the waist though. At the hips, these will go out only this much if you just pull the legs out, but then if you rotate on this joint, the legs can come out all the way. You can also just rotate at the ball joint, so you have a couple options there depending on which way you want the leg to be kicking. One thing to note is that it's easy to have the leg lined up with this seam and the knee kicked off to the side. And if that happens and it looks kind of weird, you can rotate the hip on the ball joint up here until the knee is facing forward more. Has single jointed knees, but they get very good range due to this cutout in the back of the leg here. Most of the Amazing Yamaguchi figures have this little cutout here. It doesn't bother me much though. The leg will kick forward very well, back pretty well as well, but he does run into the butt cheek a little bit. These are soft bits on the belt that aren't articulated, but they do scooch out of the way. Then there is a joint at the shin where you can get some swivel on that, and it does hinge back and forth a bit, so you can really hyperextend the leg forward or back if you need to really get him kicking his butt. Or have the knee back and it hinged forward a bit like that. No boot swivel, but at the foot it goes back this much before it bumps into the little pegs on the back of his ankle. Forward, not quite as much. There is a ball peg in here, so you can shift the foot around a little bit. And there is an ankle rocker and a toe hinge that is decently stiff, and I think it's sculpted pretty well. So it feels like pretty good articulation overall. I think you're going to be able to get him into some nice poses, so I enjoy that. For accessories, he'll come with this kind of neutral smirking face on him in the package. And then there are some additional faces. One where he's looking to the left, one where he's looking to the right, one with the wide eyes and teeth showing, and one where the eyes are whited out and he's yelling. These all look nice. I like the way that they're shaded at the top. All the little lines are printed on there well. They all have scar on the mouth painted well. I think the white eyes yelling one is probably my favorite one here. He'll also come with an additional piece for the front of the hair. This one's more windswept off to the side. I think this one looks pretty cool. And then for hands, these open hands will come on him in the package. And he'll also come with some additional hands. More splayed open hands, some kind of grabby hands, and then fist hands. They come on this little plastic piece to keep the peg hole stretched out. I like when they do that. And they look pretty good. I think the yellow on some of these could have been a little bit cleaner. It's bleeding a little bit on each of the edges there. And here the black didn't quite reach all the way to the yellow. Otherwise, I think they're alright. For effect parts, he'll come with this little back adapter and then 4 of these effects. I don't remember what this power was called. It was one of the all-for-one powers. These will slot into here and they have a ball hinge on them. Then there's also a hole up near the top here, so you could slot them into each other if you want to have one coming off of the other one like that. Then on the back of the figure under the cape, there's a peg hole here. So you can peg this part in. And then attach these to this, either to the front or the back. These ball hinges do come apart pretty easily though. So there's the effect parts pegged in. I think it's a pretty neat effect. And then finally he'll come with this purple decay effect. I think I like this one a bit better than the other accessories, but it'll be easier to pose him with the other accessories than this one. This one's kind of sculpted to be flat on a table and then have his hand posed in the center here. I guess you could stick it to another figure with some sticky tack or something, but that's the way it's intended out of the box at least. So there's an example of him posed with the decay effect. It's pretty cool, maybe a little limited in use. Like I said, with some sticky tack you could get it posed with some other figures, but on its own out of the box it's kind of just this one pose of him touching the ground and then however you want him leaning over. But I don't think it's bad. I think it's alright. He'll also come with a display stand, and this has either a little peg attachment or the claw attachment. So that's nice. Always good to have a display stand. And if you're using this effect part on the back, there is another hole in that you can put the stand into. So that's nice. So a decent spread of accessories. I like the faces. I'm not sure what other sort of effect parts they could have included with this version of Shigaraki. Maybe a different variation of the decay effect would have been nice. I believe if you got the exclusive version, he would also come with a walkie-talkie and a Gigantomachia print. that wasn't really worth the extra cost for me, so I didn't go with that one. For size and comparisons, he's standing at about 5 3/4 inches tall. Here he is with some other Amazing Yamaguchi My Hero Academia figures: Hawks, Bakugo, Deku, and Aizawa. You can also see Bakugo's shoulders compared to Shigaraki's here, and how Shigaraki's look a lot more jointy. You can see here that for Bakugo's shoulder, it kind of like cupped up over the joint, so it covered it a bit. Although because of that, he couldn't raise the arms quite as well. He could still get a T-pose, which is pretty good. But Shigaraki's doesn't come up over that joint, so just the whole joint at the top is exposed. Here he is with a couple SH figure arts, the Naruto Top 99 Naruto, and then Chainsaw Man. And then for a couple of domestic figures, here he is with the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Nightcrawler and NECA Last Ronin Michelangelo. Overall, I don't think this one is their best release. I like Aizawa a lot more from this year. The main thing that annoyed me with this one was that the cape was constantly falling apart while I was filming this review, which was a bit frustrating. He does articulate well, but that's to be expected with this line. I just think some things on this could have been done a little bit better. It's not awful. I don't think it's a bad figure, but I just don't think it's the best one from the line. If you're a big fan of Shigaraki in this specific form, then I think you'll enjoy the figure. And if you just need a villain for your My Hero shelf, I think he'll be pretty good. But if you're not crazy about this look for Shigaraki, or if you prefer the one where he's got the hands all over him, maybe wait and see if Bandai ends up making an SH Figure Arts Shigaraki. I'm very interested to see what they do with that line. I'm hoping Dabi's a bit better. I think he has more potential to be a cooler figure just because he has cooler fire effects. And I like Dabi a little bit more overall, so that's probably influencing a bit some as well. Let me know if this is a figure you're picking up though, or what your thoughts are on it, or how you feel about the upcoming SH Figure Arts line of My Hero figures. Definitely looking forward to Bakugo. That one looks super cool. I'm curious to see if Deku's going to be better than the Amazing Yamaguchi one, because that one is one of my favorite figures. I'm probably going to continue getting the My Hero figures just because I like them overall. So look forward to those in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.